Good evening. So this is the presentation on the founder of different social science disciplines. So on the last topic that we had, we've discussed there the nine social science discipline, and in this particular video, we will know who are the people behind those social science disciplines. Let us know the father, the founder. Okay, so let's start with anthropology. Okay, so it was Sir Edward Borny Taylor, no, in 1832 to 1917. He was first to hold the chair in the subject anthropology at Oxford University in the United Kingdom in 1896. And he also wrote researches into the early history of mankind and the development of civilization. And his notes, he referred all from his writings, his notes of the beliefs and practices of the people he encountered were the basis of his work. Because, according to our readings, no, he traveled in sometimes dangerous circumstance just to search for remains, no, just to know people, the culture of the people. Okay, and Taylor identified that the earliest form of religious belief is animism, or a belief in spiritual beings. So the father of anthropology was Sir Edward Burnett Tyler. So we know what his field of interest was. It was cultural evolution, culture, primitive culture, and the race. Because the during those times, the European explorers and colonizers led to curiosity, no, and questions of who these people are, who their ancestors were, how they are related to other people and other places, what makes them distinct. So there are plenty of questions. What similarities they share with the rest, or how they conduct their way of life. So these questions was once the interest of Sir Edward Bornett Taylor. Okay, let's move on to the father of history. It was Herodotus. Okay, it was Herodotus. He was a Greek historian, and he treated historical subjects as a subject of investigation. So he does not believe right away, but it is he investigates further, no, to know the facts. Okay, and he collected historical materials systematically and then critically and arranged them into a historical narrative. Okay, and he wrote histories, which is the record of the ancient traditions and culture of Greece, Asia, and Africa. So because of his vast work about history, he was considered the father of that certain discipline. Next, we have the father of economics was Adam Smith. Okay, so Adam Smith saw a world where each person sought their own self interest but was constrained by morality, market, and government. And Adam Smith also wrote his famous book was The Wealth of Nations in 1776. Okay, according to him, some of his famous uh, ideology. No? According to Smith, when all individuals are allowed to do as they wish to improve their standard of living, the economy is guided as if by an invisible hand to maximize the welfare of all of the society. There is no need, daw, no need. There is no need for the government to intervene to make things work smoothly. Smith recognized that although the government should do certain things for its citizens, such as the government could provide national defense, but it should not control. According to him, no, the government should not control economic activity in any way. Okay, so another term used to describe Smith's theory of economics is the laissez-faire, meaning that is a French term meaning do not interfere. Okay, so that makes him no the father of economics, Adam Smith. Okay, let's move on to Eratosthenes. Okay, my apology. No, he was the father of geography, Eratosthenes. Okay, he accepted the concept that the Earth is round, and he can prove that. And then, according to his calculation, no, the circumference to a very accurate to within 0.5% accuracy, no, the circumference of the earth, and he really proves that the earth is round. Okay, so he further described the known area of the world and divided the earth into five climatic regions, and then he prepared the earliest maps of the known world. So that is why he was considered the father of geography. Then we move on to linguistics. Okay, it was Ferdinand de Saussure, the father, no, the founder of linguistics. During 1857 to 1913, he was a Swiss linguist, and he posited that linguistic form is arbitrary and therefore that all languages function in similar fashion. So he published the Memoir sur les systèmes primitifs des voyelles dans les languages indo-européennes. Okay, so that was the work of Ferdinand de Saussure that makes him the founder of linguistic. Although linguistic was known before these years because it was the old Babylon. No, it was the old Babylon who first created linguistics text called the Sumerian. But then this Ferdinand de Saussure formally, no, formally was recognized as the founder of linguistics. Okay, so shall we move on to the father of political science? It was Aristotle. Okay, it was Aristotle. I failed to write his name here. It was Aristotle, the father of political science. This is during 384 to 322 BC. And he laid down the foundation of governance and leadership. Okay. And then he said, man by nature is a political animal. And he wrote the book, The Politics. Okay. So originally, no, the word political comes from the word, the politics, no, comes from the Greek word polis, which means city state. Okay, and then in the ancient world, city states are the small countries regarded as the center of culture and civilization, where in people interact under a unified government. What transpires in the polis is politics. So that is why Aristotle has a plenty of books written, no, that talks about politics. So he was considered as the father of political science. Next is Wilhelm Wundt during 1832 to 1920. He was the German psychologist, and he trained psychology students to make observation that were biased by personal interpretation or previous experiences, and use the results to develop a theory of conscious thought. And he also wrote the principles of physiological psychology. Okay? So, over the centuries, psychology and physiology became increasingly separated, resulting to the two conception of psychology, that is phenomenological or the experimental, and mechanistic or physiological. Then the last is Auguste Comte or Auguste Comte during 1798 to 1857. He was the French sociologist and he coined the term sociology. And he also advocated the application of scientific method to social life and positivism. Now, when we say positivism, it is a belief or a philosophy that asserts that the only source of trustworthy knowledge or valid, reliable knowledge is the information obtained from rational conduct and reports of sensory experience. So it is evidence based. Okay, so that is Auguste Comte. Okay, so that would be all. Thank you.